everybody. Welcome. This is Scary Q, and today the stars are talking, they be aligning, and we need to talk about it. But first, like it, comment on what you think about this, and please subscribe. So, I would like to talk about astrology and how astrology can, intertwined with your birth chart, can predict your future and certain outcomes coming up in your life or what has happened, let's say. And right now, we are going to talk about Donald Trump and what the astrologers have been seeing in his birth chart and predictions that they have made and future predictions that may come about. So let's talk about it. Now, if you're not familiar with astrology, that's okay. I'm not completely down the rabbit hole with it, but I've learned a little bit, including things like Mercury retrogrades. So, Mercury retrograde, which I think we're about to have one coming up March 14th, you can experience things like your phone stops working, your car stops working, there's a bunch of car crashes, dropped calls, miscommunications. Oh my God, is it already Mercury retrograde? I'm feeling it. No. But things like that can just not be great. And you may experience more of that during a Mercury retrograde. And ultimately, it could impact your life. So, when, for example, let's say you're walking down the road and you're planning to meet somebody down, let's say, at a street light, and you're walking, and all of a sudden, this car that's driving past sees that his car is giving all of the triangle of deaths or whatever, and it's acting up, and they're looking down at it and not paying attention to the road, and they veer into you. Well, that could impact your life, because that kind of what happens during a Mercury retrograde, right? Or you can be walking down, the car goes past, fine, and you're trying to get a hold of the person that you're trying to meet down the road, and your phone stops working. And now, what do? The person doesn't know that you're there waiting for them. It could impact your life, so to speak. So there are certain things that happen in the planetary systems that can have tweaks into our life. If you look at your birth chart and you look at where the planets are stationed and you intertwine it, you can kind of see what things are going to come up and about for you. So there is this amazing Vedic astrologer out there, and she is actually here on YouTube, and oh gosh, she's so good, and she's so beautiful, and I love her astrology work. And I believe it was sometime back in May of 2024 that she was looking at Donald Trump's chart, and she had put out a warning for him in between certain dates in July, and one of the dates that was in between was July 13th, when the actual attempt on his life occurred. And she was warning that he was in danger, his life was in danger, and that some planetary systems were in the something star of beheading and stuff like that. Like, she literally said that. And yeah, that he could actually like lose his head, so to speak. And yeah, so here's another astrologer. You can kind of check her out. Check this video.
Trump was shot today, and as an astrologer, the first thing that I did was look up to see what the planets had to say about this. And the big one that everyone is talking about is the fact that Mars and Uranus were transiting his natal midheaven. Mars, the planet of aggression, meeting up with Uranus, the planet of sudden changes, in his 10th house of career, brings this really angry and volatile energy to his career. This is a very, be ready for anything type of energy, as we saw today. But there are two other transits going on that I really want to talk about in particular. Mercury is also transiting his 12th house, which means some of his hidden enemies might be more willing to speak up about him during this time. And the midheaven right now is opposite his natal north node, which can also draw out some people who are maybe envious or obsessive over you. And Mercury is a bit of a faster moving planet than some of these other ones, so the fact that this is lining up with some of these other transits right now is crazy. And there's definitely something to be said about the fact that Uranus and Mercury are both common transits during assassinations and assassination attempts. It is actually crazy how much things line up if you actually look and know what to look for. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm just saying, astrology is looking pretty real right now.
And so here is a video of another astrologer who predicted his winning of the 2024 presidential election. And you can see what she talks about and how it all aligned, how his birth chart aligned with what was happening in our planets in our sky right now. And you can see, why the astrologers believed that Trump was going to win. Check this out.
If you're a Trump supporter, then this is for you. I think Donald Trump has a really good chance of winning the 2024 elections, and here's why. Starting May 2024, he'll have Jupiter entering his powerful 10th house of career and purpose. Ultimately, Jupiter's lucky transit will bless and support his career and public image. Jupiter will be transiting his natal sun, which is his chart ruler, and his 10th lord from the moon. So this further supports him as an individual and his career. He'll be in Jupiter-Venus Dasha, and Venus is his 10th lord of career and presidency. Venus is in the nakshatra called Punavarsu, which essentially means a return of the light and is associated with a second chance or a comeback.
Now, I've been hearing from multiple astrologers, not just Vedic astrologers, even the Western astrologers out there. Yeah, there's two different kinds. There's Vedic, there's Western. So, but from both of them, I've heard the same thing, that Trump is in danger as we speak now. And they all want to emphasize around the springtime, all of them, that things are really going to get very scary around those times. And so I hope, Trump does look into his astrology, maybe consults with these people, get the word out there, because he's in danger. And I mean there's a lot going on right now, a lot of chaos going on with both sides. Everyone's a bit upset, and more reason for him to be very, very, very cautious. So definitely check this video out on what she has to say, this astrologer.
So it's really weird I'm making this video. I didn't really think about it, but I've had a little bit of an awakening and I want to share it with you. So just thinking about Donald Trump's chart, he's having a major Uranus transit. He's having Uranus conjunct his midheaven, square his Mars, and square his ascendant. So these are essentially three separate transits that he's having at once. And all three can show major disruption, upheaval, sudden change, and violence. So he's not out of the woods, I was thinking, yet in terms of accidents that could happen or violence. So I went back and looked at the ephemeris for dates when Uranus was going to be square his Mars, because that's the most important transit you would look for an accident or violence to happen. And I saw that it was going to be transiting his Mars mid-April through mid-May. So I drilled down to those dates and I saw that Mars was going to be conjunct his Pluto May 10th and 11th. And around that time, the sun would be conjunct Uranus in the sky for everyone, showing that it could be a lot of disruptiveness, unexpected change, surprises happening. My point is, I think Donald Trump needs to be really careful this summer, but especially mid April through mid May, with an extra emphasis on May 10th and May 11th. I mean, nothing may not happen, but when you see things like that lining up at the same time, usually it's something to take note of. So, bookmark this video and we'll come back to it in 6 months.
So this isn't about astrology, but I thought it was worth mentioning about this book called The Last President. I believe this one was, the first one was written in 1888. So they're very old books. There's two of them. One's about a boy named Baron Trump, and the second one's about Baron Trump and the last president. And right now, you know, it's kind of funny because Donald Trump's son is named Baron, and there's just so many connections with this book and whatnot. So definitely, guys, gotta have to take a look at this.
Donald and Baron Trump were written about in 1888 by a man named Ingersoll Lockwood, and apparently their whole life was predicted in this book. I need you guys, please stop giving me things to research, because I have not slept. Let's get into a book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. Already in the name, I'm like, okay, weird. Apparently, 1888, Lockwood writes this book, and in the book, a 10-year-old boy named Baron and his mentor, Don. Let's not forget the fact that Don has a mentor named Pence. Anyway, Baron and Don go on a crazy journey, travel to Russia to find information on time travel and big hole in the ground that is a portal to another time. I believe the book says that Don lives on 5th Avenue in New York City. Anyway, in the third book of the book series, Don becomes president, and it's called The Last President, might I add. It seems a little bit fishy. Oh, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only, none of it's true. Anyway, seems a little fishy with the whole last president thing, because more and more we are inching closer to world government. That's a story for another video. But anyway, it's called The Last President. He becomes president and quote unquote fixes the economy, but the people revolt because he's a businessman, not a politician. Does that not sound familiar? This whole thing is weird. Now, I'm gonna try to put this together as well as this other dude put it together. I saw a video about him and he broke this down so freaking well. But apparently, Nikola Tesla, who is a man that studied time travel heavily, also lived in New York City at the same time that Ingersoll Lockwood lived in New York City. And then also, it's just ongoing, y'all. It's not gonna stop. When Nikola Tesla unalived, all his research was given to Donald Trump's uncle, John Trump, who is, I believe, a professor at MIT. Like, you could easily say, okay, well, they obviously read this book and named Baron after the book. No. The whole Nikola Tesla, John Trump thing, it's not giving coincidence. It's really not. Like, this whole thing is crazy. Now, will I go as far as saying that I believe in time travel? I don't know. You guys know I am very open-minded, and I don't put it past the world to be true, but it's like, really? I haven't seen enough evidence, like, or I haven't dived down the rabbit hole enough to say I believe in it. But I will say, this is creepy. This is so creepy. And also, it's crazy because didn't they just say that they found a whole parallel universe in Antarctica or something? Also, apparently I'm saying Antarctica wrong. Antarctica? Like, what? In my last video, you guys were flaming me in the comments saying I was saying it wrong. Anyway, I also find it funny that the portal that they went down into was a big hole. Kind of sounds like what Admiral Byrd did when he went through the portal in Antarctica to get to the green land. I guess I shouldn't call it a portal. He went through a certain area in Antarctica to find out that it's actually green land. It's literally all in his journals. I did videos on it. Guys, this is weird. I don't know. At the end of the day, I really need you guys to love me enough to stop giving me things to research, because you know I'm going to keep making videos about it. Anyway, as always, make sure you guys like and follow and comment down below what you think. Also, follow my YouTube. I'm going to put it above, and my backup TikTok account, it's going to be right there too.
So this wraps up everything that I have on this topic right now. Let's hopefully there's no more. You know, I don't promote violence or anything of the sort. I really hope nothing bad happens. And even though as much as I like talking about scary things and whatnot, I would rather those things not happen, but they do, and there are things to talk about. So here I am. Here we are. But anyways, leave me a like, comment, subscribe. See you guys. Peace.